Connecting patients with life-saving blood stem cell donors. That's what we need today.
Yes.
That's what we're doing today. We have a good friend, Leticia, that are going here with us this morning. Welcome back to Domingo Live.
I know it's been a while.
Yes, it has been.
It's been a while, but you know, I'm here. Same mission, same purpose.
Exactly. We just heard an incredible story with Hillary de Leon and her mom. I mean, this is amazing, and this is how these miracles happen.
Absolutely.
But they have to go through a process. Tell us about that.
Yes, they do. Well, NMDP, formerly Be The Match, we're the most diverse, largest registry in the world, and we help patients, blood cancer patients, find matches for their transplants. What a lot of people don't realize is that when we go matching a patient with a donor, it all has to do with your ethnicity. Right. And Rudy and Barbie, it's really sad. We only have a 13% representation of Latinos on the registry.
Why is that?
Well, I think a lot of times there's a lot of misconceptions, but I think the main one is people are afraid to sign up because they think, well, if I'm going to be a match, it's going to be this painful surgical procedure. But over 90% of all procedures now, Rudy and Barbie, are peripheral stem cell donations. Yeah. Very similar to a platelet or plasma donation.
It's like donating blood.
Absolutely, pretty much, yes.
Yeah. So how do we know when someone's eligible? How do we know?
You have to be between the ages of 18 to 40 to sign up, and we'll show a QR code in just a minute, and you actually can scan that QR code, you fill out a questionnaire. It's a basic questionnaire, and then within 7 to 10 days, you'll get a swab kit in the mail. And you notch your nose. I always tell people it's not a COVID test. It's a inside swab, 10 seconds on the right, 10 seconds on the left, and it's shipped to our biorepository in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it stays there till you're 61 years of age. We cover all the costs for everything, from the actual registration. If you end up being a possible match for someone, we ask you again if you would be willing to go through with the process. You'll be sent for a physical, and the actual donation, the closest place you'll be traveling, it won't be done here in Corpus Christi. It will be done in San Antonio or Houston or maybe somewhere else. And we cover all the costs. And just imagine you could be someone's only hope anywhere in the world. I mean, there's not, 10,000 matches. You're that one and only hope for someone to have a second chance.
And we're talking, when you say the world, you're saying if there could be someone, for example, that needs a donation in Mexico.
Absolutely.
Especially coming from South Texas.
Yes,
we're talking about ethnicities here.
Absolutely. And, Hispanic and Latinos, they only have patients of that ethnic background only have a 48% chance of finding their match. When we compare it with Caucasian and white, 79%, and even less of African Americans with only 29%.
Is there a certain age limit that you have to be in order to donate?
18 to 40.
Okay.
18 to 40. But I've known a gentleman who actually donated at 61 years of age, and 20 years after he signed up, he ended up being that best match for a young lady in Portland, Oregon. He was in San Antonio, Portland, Oregon, and when they met, he couldn't stop crying because him and his wife could never have children. And what's really neat about this process and registering with NMDP, again, you can be someone's only hope anywhere in the world, but if you match someone, what's really neat about it is that you're going to actually look like that patient. There's similarities.
Isn't
and
that
sometimes
amazing?
takes over. And also, we had this other young lady from Texas State, got the call 5 years later, ended up being a best match for a little boy in Fresno, California. I remember your time in Fresno, California.
Yes.
And that little boy never liked chocolate until he received the transplant because she's a chocoholic. So you just never know. You just never know.
You mentioned something earlier, that a lot of people are afraid. They want to know if it's going to hurt. They want to know if there's some side effects, any risk factors.
No, there's not. That's why there's a whole process that's done before you actually donate. And what I let everybody know when I do presentations, because I cover everything in South and Central Texas, El Paso, Nebraska, is my territory. But I tell them, just think if that was your child.
Sure.
Y'all heard the story of little Bella. Bella didn't get that second chance. Passed away at 2 years old.
Tell us about Emery. She's 6 years old, Emily Lynn Ramos, and she needs a donor. Tell me about her.
Yes, she is in need of finding her match. Rudy and Barbie, 70% of all patients need to find an unrelated donor outside of their family to be their match. Emery is one of those. She's 6 years old from Kingsville, Texas. She loves Barbie dolls and she loves makeup, but this is her second battle with childhood cancer. She was in remission, goes in for a doctor checkup, and all of a sudden she had a spinal tap and the cancer came back. They noticed through that spinal tap. So now she is in need of finding a match. And we encourage the community to please register with NMDP. We have a code for her, Hope for Emery, because again, you could be someone's only hope for a second chance at life. Y es muy fácil para registrarse y necesitamos más latinos que se registren con nosotros.
Es una cosa muy triste cuando vemos una niña de 6 años que está en necesidad de una donación, biological donation, meaning blood or bone marrow, that could save her life.
Absolutely.
Just like in Hillary's case.
Yes, yes. And you know, I know Irmelinda can relate as a mom. Barbie's a mom as well. Just imagine if your child was going through that. My why is I continue to do this, Rudy and Barbie, because Bella was my first match. We've spoken of Bella before. And now I'm working with Emery, and just going to the hospital and spending time with the mom, and all she could do was just cry, you know. And little Emery loves McDonald's. She loves a burger and fries. And just to give you an example how resilient these children are, I was going to take her a burger yesterday, and the mom's like, I always call out of courtesy. And she's like, Leticia, she's not feeling any food today. She's not feeling well. So it's tough. It's really tough.
We need
and
more donors.
Yes, and I have a commitment to these patients and their families, but I can't fulfill that without the support of our local community. And thank you, Rudy and Barbie. I know I can always depend on you all to help us out, because again, I just remember in my mind Bella's mom going to the coffin and talking to her baby girl at 2 years old, and she didn't get that second chance at life because there was no match for her. So we encourage the community. You saw Emery's picture. Precious little girl. She loves her mama and her grandmother, and you could be her only hope for a second chance at life. All you have to do is, again, text the number 61474, type in Hope for Emery, and we'll send you a swab kit. And just imagine you can be her only hope for a second chance at life.
And again, it's easy. Doing the swab is very, very easy.
Tenemos que crecer este movimiento. We need to get more people registered.
Yes.
Tenemos que unirnos para que haya más gente registradas para esto, para salvar vidas. This is what we're all about, you know, to being here for the community, being here for our kids.
Y salvar
their
una vida
future.
mundialmente.
Yes.
Mundialmente.
And know that it came from you, that you made a difference in someone's
And
life.
just imagine you're someone's only hope anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. We had another young lady that works in San Antonio. She ended up being the best match for a girl in Europe. They met at that girl's wedding.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
the way the girl looked at it, I wouldn't be getting married had you not signed up with Be the Match in NMDP. You know, so you
Endless,
just never know who you
endless.
might match.